back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Inside Lines. Hope you're all having a very good night, or you're probably sleeping whenever you're watching this. This is a late night episode because we got two big stories to talk about, including the last one. We have an update on the conclusion of the NASCAR LGB coin Brandon Brown saga. But first, we have to talk about some news regarding the world of NASCAR and video games. Now, iRacing. Of course, we know iRacing is probably the most popular game or simulator, whatever you want to call it, currently out there on the NASCAR market. Well, they have made an acquisition. Monster Games, you know Monster Games, the creators of the NASCAR Heat franchises, specifically the more popular game NASCAR Dirt to Daytona and NASCAR Heat 2002. Now, this is a step in the direction of iRacing potentially going into the console world. It says here that the acquisition will bring another level of expertise under the iRacing roof and further the company's ability to bring the highest quality racing games to the broader market, including the console space. iRacing also acquired Orontes Games, which is the creators of the very positive game Drag, which is an off-road racing game. The CEO of iRacing, Dave Kammerer, says, quote, that we are at a point as a company that we are comfortable building out these two teams to explore the broader racing game market to ultimately funnel serious sim racers to our flagship product, iRacing, on the PC. Rich and the Monster team will be an important part of that strategy as we use our code and experience to bring their games to another level. And I think Rich Garcia, I think that was his name, he was one of the big guys at Monster Game, was also played a key role in help creating probably the most popular NASCAR game of all time, NR 2003. So yeah, this is just another I guess you could say another, not dig, but another step in the direction of motorsport games having some competition, because now you've got the creators of Papyrus and, or the creators of NR 2003 and iRacing, two of the most realistic and probably close to of a simulation as you're going to get to the real life of NASCAR gaming, combined with the company that put out some of the most fun games in NASCAR history, like NASCAR Heat 2002 and Dirt to Daytona. Yes, I know Heat Evolution was trash, but let's be honest, the Heat 3, Heat 4, Heat 5, they're much better than 21 Ignition, at least my opinion. So to have them two come together to create possibly a future console game down the line is good news, but also should not be such good news for Monster Games, especially because of how much of a disaster 21 Ignition was. Now they're gonna have the big guys of iRacing and Monster Games at their tails. It's gonna be very interesting to see how the NASCAR video game market looks like in the future years to come. But let's be honest, you're here for the big story, all right? I know you are. LGB coin. Okay, let's give you a quick rundown on everything that took place. So back in late December, Brandon Brown announced that he had a full-time sponsorship with LGBcoin.io. However, 6 hours later, after they made that announcement, NASCAR said that the sponsorship had not been approved yet. However, LGB Coin and Brandon Brown Motorsports were saying and showing receipts that says, hey, NASCAR did approve this. So now it became of what the hell is going on? What's with the confusion? Why is NASCAR saying they approved it when they didn't, and all that stuff? NASCAR did say they would take about a week or so for them to come up with a conclusion, and many of us knew what the result was going to be, and that is that NASCAR has decided to not approve the LGB coin sponsorship for Brandon Brown in the 2022 Xfinity Series season. Now, that is not the big story. The big story is what follows up after that. Apparently, Brandon Brown Motorsports and the LGB coin try to pull a fast one. They try to get very sneaky with NASCAR and their approval process. Now, I'm going to use Kelly Crandall's tweet. She said that not only was the sponsorship not approved, additionally, the team did not follow proper protocol of submission, and it also was sent to someone not authorized to approve it. Now, we're going to switch over to the main guy. He's not a founder, or he's a holder. I don't know what he is. I don't know. But he put out this tweet. We're going to go to his tweet next. He said this, that Brandon Brown did go through the proper NASCAR approval process and receive formal written approval. If NASCAR revokes approval, we will bring suit upon them on behalf of all LGB coin hodlers who were damaged by their reliance on NASCAR written approval. Cancel NASCAR. Cancel NASCAR. That's funny. good luck, because after we read all the stuff, I'm pretty sure you're not going to win your suit by any means. But anyways, let's talk about the email, because James did list out 3 photos, but we're going to use only 2 of them because the other 3 is just an extension. But the first 2 photos of the tweet that he put out. So remember a few days ago we talked about Colin Fern saying that NASCAR did approve the sponsorship, and the only thing they were asking was change the contrast on the number. Okay, well, James did provide that in the first photo, talking about sponsors are approved, however please clean up the markings around the number, especially the white stars touching the white number. Now, before I show you the second photo, I'm going to show you Kelly Crandall's tweet. This was a follow-up to the first tweet that I showed you earlier. And she says that in a meeting with NASCAR back in November, the team was told, Brandon Motorsports was told, that anything in this regard, so anything regarding LGB, Let's Go Brandon, whatever the case, anything regarding that phrase will not be allowed. However, Brown and company were told could lean into it away from the track, but it would not be approved for car, track advertising, and etc. So basically, they could go into that. They could go into the LGB, Let's Go Brandon, whatever type thing, but they cannot approve that, or they cannot have that be a sponsor for anything on track. Which makes this next photo that James tweeted kind of funny. So we're going to read it out again. Now, this is just a statement that they're sending to NASCAR. This is sent to Dale Howell, who is the racing operations at NASCAR. And what's very interesting about this email is the wording that they use for it. Nowhere does it say anything about Let's Go Brandon, just LGB coin. Not even just LGB, just LGB coin. On top of that, when you look at the sponsor, look at the sponsor that they chose. They are a cryptocurrency. That is it. They never mentioned anything about a political cryptocurrency or a cryptocurrency that was created based off of a meme or a phrase that detriments NASCAR. They just said, oh, it's just a cryptocurrency. That tells me Brandon Bell Motorsports and James, or people at LGB Coin, whatever, whoever is in charge, try to pull a fast one on NASCAR. The reason why I say that is because that email that you saw where they sent an email or sent an approval process to NASCAR Racing Operations, that is not the ideal way to do a sponsorship, or at least to get a sponsor approved. Remember the first tweet that I showed you with Kelly? The team did not follow proper protocol of submission, and it also was sent to someone not authorized to approve it. So basically, Brandon Bell Motorsports did a sponsor process that was not approved by NASCAR, nor was it the proper way, and it was handled by someone that was not authorized to approve the sponsorship. Now, why would they do that? Why would they go through a non-ideal way of doing sponsorship? Because of this tweet from Bob Pockrass. One issue in Brandon Brown's sponsor saga is the online portal to submit 2022 paint schemes wasn't live as of a couple weeks ago. Although there's no reason why, it wasn't live at the time. So teams are sending emails to get okays. Now, because of that, because they're not going through a proper way of doing sponsorship approval process, sometimes a person that is approving the sponsorship might not be up to date, or just overall doesn't know what they're doing, or at the very least they are incompetent and has no idea what they're even doing in the first place, and shouldn't be given the position to approve sponsorship. Regardless, them going this route instead of the ideal route and going through a protocol, going through a website or whatever, where if they went through the proper procedure in getting a sponsor approved, more people would have been on the case and it would have been approved or disapproved much quicker, instead of going through a alternate process by sending emails to get okays, instead of going through a portal which it gets checked off by the essential people needed to approve sponsorship. It creates miscommunication. It just creates a lot of confusion, and overall, like I said, it's not the proper way to do things, so sometimes things might slip under the cracks. Again, this just proves, again, say what you want about NASCAR. Yes, they were incompetent. Yeah, like for them to let this slide, yes. But let's not let LGB Coin and Brandon Bell Motorsports off the hook. They try to be very sneaky. They try to pull a fast one on NASCAR. Again, not saying the full phrase of Let's Go Brandon, by saying the sponsor is just a cryptocurrency when it's not. It's not just a cryptocurrency. It's much more than that. Not only that, them not waiting. That's the thing. If they knew that this would be approved, why would you go through not an alternate process? Why would you go through a procedure that you know is not as reliable? If you know it's going to be approved, why not just wait for their website or whatever, the proper portal to be live and send it through there? Quick and easy. The fact that the team didn't even wait for the portal or for the website, whatever, to be live for them to send the approval process the normal way tells me that they had a feeling that they were going to get caught and the sponsorship wasn't going to get approved, so they went through an alternate route. I mean, it would make sense if you knew. Again, it makes sense. NASCAR told them you can't have that. Anything regarding Let's Go Brandon, you cannot have that on the racetrack. You can do a commercial about it, but you can't put it on the racetrack. They knew about it, and yet they still try to pull a fast one on NASCAR. It almost worked, but again, I'm pretty sure with this whole situation that took place, they sent it through an alternate procedure, that one that NASCAR wasn't familiar with. Therefore, they didn't have the right people set up to take a look at this. Some people that weren't approved to do sponsorship look-throughs let it slide, when in reality, if the right people were involved, they would not have even let this slide at the get-go. But I think we can all learn something from all this. Fox, NBC, for the love of God, please stop the front stretch interviews. None of this would have happened if y'all would stop with the front stretch interviews. Just let them do it in victory lane. What was the problem with that? Just let them do it in victory lane, okay? Please. But on a serious note, this shows NASCAR's direction for 2022 and beyond, and that is no political sponsorships whatsoever. Which, that is good news. I think, the last thing, I always hated seeing political sponsorships in NASCAR, regardless if it was for the left or for the right. Mostly it was for the right, but still, I just hated seeing that, and I think this is a good step for NASCAR to take to get rid of them completely for the future. Especially when you think about it, since 2020, I would say the last year or so, the only time you ever hear NASCAR even remotely popular or anything that's being talked about with the public or mainstream or whatever is always something political. That's it. That you don't hear NASCAR about anything in terms of racing related, in terms of the on-track product. You only hear NASCAR in terms of politics, which is the last thing that anyone needs or anyone wants for their sport to be popular for, is politics. So I think this is a good step for NASCAR to take to get away from that. But now I'm very interested into seeing what will happen with Brandon Brown, because now Brandon Brown, we're a month away or so from Daytona and he's still got no sponsorship. He had one, but now it's gone. So now what does this mean for Brandon Brown, and what does this mean for the future of him and his team? That will be something that we need to keep an eye on. But that is going to conclude this episode of Inside Lines. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Tell me in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on any of the two stories that I talked about? I feel like majority of you are going to talk about the Brandon Brown story. I'm very interested into hearing your thoughts. But until next time, my name is Jett from MDK. Don't forget, of course, use code RGN to get 30% off your next purchase. But I'm Jett from MDK. Hope y'all have a good night or morning whenever you're watching this, and I'll see y'all next time.
I never switch sides, like even when I die, I'ma ride for the squad, let her ties in the hearse. I've been on the vibe.